Hi, everyone. I chose to do my community scan on the city that I currently live in, which is Surprise, Arizona. It's in the Northwest Valley, just outside of Phoenix. I've lived here for about 10 years with my husband and my kids. So some of the things that I found this week was that Surprise has a population of about 138,160 people. Of that population, 84.4% are white or Caucasian. The second highest population percentage was Hispanic or Latino at 18.7%. And the third highest is the Black and African American community at 5.9%. Those are just the top three. There are several others that make up the population percentages in Surprise, but those were the top three. Of the population, 74% are homeowners with a median housing cost of $213,600. Something that I was really surprised by and I was really happy to hear is that 92.3% of the population are high school graduates or higher. I feel like that's a really high number, but that's really great for such a small community. 9.1% of the population does live below the poverty line, with 12.9% of children living below the poverty line. Now, in comparison to cities that are close to us, such as Phoenix or overall in Maricopa County, those are actually really low numbers. The rates for Phoenix were much higher. And of course, that is a percentage rate, not just, the base number, but the percentage of the population in Phoenix that was living below the poverty line is higher. And overall for Maricopa County, it was higher as well. So Surprise is doing really good. 55% are in the labor force with a 30-minute median commute to work. So that was something else that I found really interesting. Something that challenged my assumption or pushed my thinking was that the average household size here is actually under 3 people. I believe it was 2.7 to be specific. I really thought that there were going to be a lot more families here. And I assumed that based on how many schools are here, almost every community, I say community, but I mean neighborhood. Almost every neighborhood here has a small school built into it, whether that's just a learning and resource center or a preschool or an actual elementary or high school very near to the neighborhood. So I was really surprised to see that the average house size was smaller than what I assumed it would be. Something that surprised me, and I really shouldn't say that it did surprise me because I'm part of this as well. 55% are in the labor force. I do work full time. My commute is actually more than the median of 30 minutes. I actually drive about 40 minutes to work every day. So I was kind of surprised to see that there aren't a lot of job opportunities, it sounds like, here in Surprise in the city, that most people who are in the workforce have to leave to get to work. A lot of the resources that I was finding as well were not local programs. They were either state or national programs. And I kind of attribute this to Surprise is still growing. It's not a very old community. We're relatively new as far as the suburbs of Phoenix. So I feel like that's why we don't have a lot of those resources available to our residents. And as far as the connection to the significance of empathy in social enterprise, Surprise is a nice suburb, but like I said, it doesn't have a lot of resources for families. And I think that that's just because we're still growing and so we're still getting there. People who move here should probably be very mindful of that. And hopefully will do their research to not have that be, a negative surprise for them. My overall reflection was that I really enjoyed this activity. I am planning on being a librarian with my future career. So it's always good to know a lot about the community that you're going to serve and what resources are and aren't available to the community members specifically. So this assignment helped me realize that Surprise is still growing and that a lot of work is needed before we can truly reach that self-sufficiency as a city. But overall, I really enjoyed doing this.